Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Tuesday, April 1st. No jokes or fools today. Well, we are, I guess we could be called fools, but listen, we're going to get to some winners here for you on a Tuesday. As always, Matt Fargo, Brian Bitler joining me on the show. Before we get to those gentlemen and some picks today in the NIT, the Crown, maybe some baseball. Who knows where the day will take us? Hit the like button, notification bells on so you know each and every day when we come at you. College basketball, NBA, Major League Baseball will be center stage pretty soon, at least for a week before the NBA playoffs start, and then we'll be back into some NBA. But again, hit the like, comment your thought on today's games in the section here, in the little comment section. It's always open. And again, the subscribe notification bell is very important. We want you part of the Winner Circle family. Again, this is the free pick side of things. GamblersWorld.net, our sponsors, we can find all of our best bets, whether it's in Major League Baseball, the ending of the college basketball season, NBA with the playoffs on the horizon, same with the ice. Head to GamblersWorld.net. You see it right up top here. Baseball is underway. $6.99 through the World Series. Pretty good deal. I think most of us here, we saw Chip and Doug yesterday. We get all giddy about baseball. I know these two guys are baseball guys as well. You will definitely get your money's worth on a season pass of Major League Baseball on a season package. There will be enough games for you to go around. Definitely worth your while. Get a season-long pass. Or you want something shorter? Totally understand. 3 738 packages. They're all guaranteed. They cost a little more than a regular individual things. You pile those up, but they're guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back. What can you want? We save you money, and then we make you money on the flip side of things. But here you go. Get your picks, guaranteed. Higgs, Bitler, Fargo, GamblersWorld.net. As always, gentlemen, it's a Tuesday. We had some Crown excitement. The books aren't paying the bets. We're pulling them down. Folks, this was, from what I was reading, unsanctioned event because the players get paid because there's a prize pool, and there's always that fine print when you get into government regulations on things. But we'll see what happens. I think some are gonna pay. Whatever. Confusing to say the least. Blowouts, huge scores, interesting tournament. But we'll talk about that in the NIT in a second. We're gonna head over to Mr. Philly, Brian Bitler. He's gotta be excited about the Phillies this year. What do you think? You got any ribby props today for the Phillies? Who they got? Who they got on tap today?
Phillies are off today, I believe.
They're off today. Oh, yeah, that's right. They played the Nats over
Colorado,
the weekend.
Rockies.
Yeah. Didn't Nola go the other day? What day did Nola go? Was that Sunday?
Nola, yeah. I've been fading the Phillies a little bit, but it hasn't really worked out too well. They look, to me, overpriced on the road at Washington, but they've held their own against the Nationals. But for me, 3-2 day yesterday, just trying to keep the positive days rolling forward. Giants and Royals came in for me yesterday. I lost on the Nashville Predators. That's probably the number one team in the NHL that have cost me this year.
Hockey. I'm disappointed. You're going to hockey on a Major League Baseball when there's like 8-day games on a Monday. You go to hockey. Come on.
If you start doing that, if you do hockey from the beginning of the year, you can't just stop going. You got to keep it running through. But now it's tough until we get to the playoffs.
I was thinking about that today because I'm like, you know what? NBA, tail end of the season, you got 8 games left, something like that. And I'm a no betting allowed guy. Here we go. Playoff time will be all right. Nothing but action. I'll get into it. But like you said, if you've been playing hockey all year, NBA, you kind of go with the ebbs and flows. You kind of know it. For me to jump in, I'll just 2 feet deep end. I'm going in, no life preserver. Probably no bathing suit either. I'm jumping right into the pool of baseball. I don't mind. Matt, how about that image of being naked jumping into your pool in your backyard? Probably not a good image for you. How was your weekend?
Yeah, not a good image on a Tuesday morning, but decent weekend. Yesterday went 2-2 in hoops. One loss with Georgetown, which I got it at -3.5. They won by 3. But if you got on it late, you won. I think the line ended up Washington State -2.5. It did a complete flip.
Yep.
Some of these lines, these Crown games, they're just going all over the place. A lot of it has to do with the transfer portal. A lot of these guys are out. There's one game today that's just crazy with Oregon State, UCF. They're just missing so many players. Almost unbettable game in my opinion. But baseball went 1-2 yesterday. A couple of underdog losses. I faded the Dodgers once again, and I have to stop doing that apparently. because
don't
they
give
just
up now. Don't give up.
oh
Today's
man,
the
it's
day.
unreal.
Today's the day.
It's unreal. I just checking this, scores on my phone, whatever, and bottom of the first 2-0. I'm like, oh, game over. They're not, they're not going to reach that lead. So, Braves, what are they? 0-5 now. That's big surprise there. Brewers 0-4. Twins, I think, are winless. A few early surprises, but things will pan out. So I have 2 games today in baseball, 2 in college hoops, and 2 in the NBA.
I did the fate of the Dodgers to start the year. I thought at worst I get a split overseas. Did not happen. So I started 0-2 there. When they came home opening day, I did not fade them because I felt that when the Dodgers are less than a $2 favorite at home, it's kind of like, all right, they're versus a better kind of pitcher. But how often are you going to get the Dodgers at that price? You almost kind of want to play them at that shorter price because you're not laying a 240 or whatever the heck they're going to be laying. But I haven't really jumped into them against the Tigers nor the Braves here. I did have a run line last night on the Dodgers. Today's game, you mentioned some of these winless teams. I'm a streak kind of guy. Like, I don't want to jump into the Twins. I had the White Sox yesterday. I can't pick the Twins, but do I want the White Sox that the lines come down a little bit? I had a rough start myself. I started 1-7 between the 2 games in Japan over there and opening day 1-5, but I've rebounded nicely. I'm at 13-14 now, so I've put it together over the weekend and yesterday, good day. So I feel all right with my baseball. I was telling Brian before you came backstage, I was like, I want to just jump into like the White Sox today. I want to do the Dodgers again, but more of a run line. I try not to lay like more than like 130. I got to stop that though. That's like a sickness because I'm just I try to be too cute. Like, I don't have to lay a favor. Look how smart I am, and then ends up biting me in my giant butt because I'm just a giant butthead for thinking I can lay 140. I should. It's not a crazy number to lay, but
yeah. I mean, the Dodgers today are minus 130, 134, 135. I mean, they'll be a very popular play today, no doubt about it.
It's tough for me early like that because I want to jump into my streaks, right? Teams start winning 3-4 in a row or losing. I want to go against those. In the case of the Yankees, I know we're talking baseball here early, folks. Sorry. We'll get to the baseball in a second, but got a lot of baseball going. I'll give you my little thought process. For early on, I want to do the streaks. That's pretty much season long. Teams playing well. You're going to lose. Teams are going to lose 8 in a row. It's going to happen. They're going to win those games also. But I got Will Warren going, who's not a great track record in his short career, 10 innings, right? He gives up a bunch of runs. So I really don't want to jump into that game. I got May coming back from an injury for the Dodgers. And most Dodger pitchers are 5-inning guys, but those are spots where I'm looking to go opposite of pitchers like that, guys off injuries and guys making not first starts, but not a big track record. And it's April. How good could he be pitching? And I'm facing a guy in Burns who I got a Cy Young ticket on. I got Arizona to win the NL at 15-1. Like, it's a team I think is going to be good. I don't want to take the Yanks there, but I can't take Arizona because of the streak.
And it's the same with you. It's the same with the other game. Chris Sale, going for Atlanta. Same exact scenario.
And he pitched well his first start. The bullpen came in and got shelled, but he was solid. 7 strikeouts in his game there. Looked like picking off right from last year. So I don't mind, and I don't know about you guys. Like, sometimes you like a game, you leave it out there, right? You might leave a winner out there, right? Everybody thinks, oh my goodness, I had all these winners left. Yeah, I'm sure I'll leave the one winner. I won't forget about the 3 losers that I didn't play either. That I wanted. So I don't mind leaving a winner out there because you have to have the mindset, because you put them all in there, it could get bloody early. It could be a early massacre in early April. You get wrapped up into what you want to do. Next thing you know, your 3 games turn into 8, and you're like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys think that way about early baseball.
I mean, like, is this the time to start fading the White Sox? They have, do you know what their starters ERA is to start the season through, I think, like 23 innings? You know what their starters ERA is?
It's gotta be like a 7.
0?
0?
0.00.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? 23 innings.
I know they had a no-hitter going yesterday because I had him. I'm like, look at this. I'm looking great here. But
and the number 2 team starter ERA, you'll never guess this one. Never.
The Marlins.
You're close.
Colorado.
0.00. 0.84 through 21.1 innings.
Ugh.
This
Now-
stuff is not going to last. So I don't know if you start fading it now or,
The White Sox played the Angels, who are not a good team.
Right.
And Colorado was where? In Tampa Bay? Right.
Yeah, Tampa, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although that is a little shocking because we saw in the A's opener there in that little ballpark that, what we get, like 11 runs last night from the Cubbies or something crazy. Like, I thought, I'm going to say, I had the over Tampa Bay the other day, I think. Did not get there. I was like, what happened? It was like 3-2 or something. I'm like, I thought there'd be runs in this little park here. It's a minor league stadium, but it's Colorado and Tampa Bay. So there we are with that. Brad, what are your thoughts on Colorado and the White Sox out the door fast with their pitching?
Well, usually we see regression towards the mean. This is just, early on in the baseball season. I'm going to be looking at the Rockies when they're playing in Colorado because over the years I've made some money taking the Rockies when they're playing at home because they always seem to be underpriced. But, it should be interesting. I don't think this Dodgers-Yankees thing is going to hold on very much longer. I know it's hard to go against the LA Dodgers, but I think tonight's the best opportunity that I've seen all season. So hopefully I won't be regretting that tomorrow morning when we go on and say, oh, the goddamn Dodgers again. But
And listen, you got the better pitcher. I mean, May's a guy off injury. How far they let him go, right? I mean, what are they going to let him go 6?
I think they can still price this game at minus 160 Dodgers and still get a crap ton of action. So when I see minus 135, minus 130, my antenna goes up immediately.
Yeah,
I think you could price the Dodgers a lot higher if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, I think the 130 looks extremely low. 135, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Braves. I'm all for. Please, I get a lot of crap. I say the Dodgers are an overrated squad because I don't think they're going to win 105 games. And of course, 3 days in, I got that many Yankee fans. Oh, look at this! You want to badmouth the team? I'm like, the Brewers have 4 number 3 starters on their team. They're terrible. Judge hits 3 homers. I don't. The guy's a 50 home run hitter. I don't want to hear about torpedo bats. You face Nestor Cortez. The guy's terrible. Judge hit 50, right? 2 of the last 3 years. We're shocked that he bombed the bad pitching staff. Come on, Yankee fans. Holy cow.
Oh, you knocked Matt Fargo out just talking about those Yankees.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about the Yankees right now. It's funny, like Judge is, I think, one of the only guys who hasn't used that torpedo bat. He's using what he else.
Yeah. Other teams use the torpedo bat. There's a bunch of guys here that they've used it in spring training. It's not a big deal. Anyway, all right. Enough about baseball. People probably don't like baseball as much as we do. You'll be into it soon enough because that's all there's going to be here in another 2 months here, folks. But
we'll have WNBA and CFL over there.
Oh my goodness! Stop.
Oh.
Please. Let's we got NIT. Let's jump right into some NIT love here. We got Loyola and Chattanooga in your early game here. Or actually, this is actually the later game. I apologize for that. But I wanted to start with this one based on Chattanooga, dogs in every one of the little tournament games. Here they are. It's funny. Dogs in this tournament, they lose their conference championship by a bucket or whatever. And you look at some of the games before that, they're laying 16, 18 points. And zero respect. I would say I sort of like Loyola just because the defense, I think, is a little better, stuff like that. But how do you turn your nose up at Chattanooga, who comes in as a team, again, you look at some of their favorite numbers, huge numbers, lose a tough one. I would be more inclined to go against them if this game was in a back-to-back spot with other than a bunch of days off. But the lines kind of come down a little bit here. Again, I kind of like the NIT games. Did a move on it. I'm torn because I do like the Loyola defense. But, Brian, what do you think about Loyola Chattanooga?
I think Loyola, Illinois here, the Ramblers have the household name. People have heard about them. Chattanooga, right. I think, flies under the radar. You've seen Chattanooga beat Bradley and a really good Dayton team. I think it's a one-possession game. You're going to give me almost 3 points in my pocket, 2.5 right now. I think I'm going to take Chattanooga Mocs here to I think they win outright, but I'm going to take the points anyway.
Chattanooga, and again, I'm kind of torn. Like you said, Loyola is the team everybody knows, but then you get the Mocs. Feisty little bunch, Matt Fargo.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. Loyola Chicago is the bigger name. Going back when they went to the Final Four, people still remember that. With Sister Jean and all that. But Chattanooga comes in 15-1 the last 16 games, and the only loss was in overtime against Furman in the SoCon tournament. So they've been playing great all season. They were the number one team in the conference. They've won. They went 2 on the road in the NIT. Yeah, 2 on the road. Now they're catching, as Bry said, almost a full 3 points. So I think I think they can win this one outright for sure. And grabbing that 2.5, I think is worthwhile.
A little chatty 2x4. Not like fatty 2x4.
I also think they're a lot better shooting free throws, Chattanooga. I think it's 77% to 67, and that could
by 10%. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And in a close game like this, you got a short little line, neutral, free throws. I always feel if I lose a game close, I always go right to free throws to see what
Texas
cost me.
Tech the other day.
I always go to the free throws. Like, how do we shoot there? Did I lose by 2 because my team went 6 of 14 from the line? Again, folks, these are little free picks we're talking about. NIT crown action here. Hit the like button for the free pick. If you want our best bets for a Tuesday, could be in some of these college basketball games, NBA, hockey, baseball, whatever it is, head to gamblersworld.net. Again, we're just touching on the tournament games here, and you just have to touch the like button. That's it. There you go. Now, Irvine and North Texas Mean Green. How about this battle here? 2 teams that, I would have liked to see get in the NCAA as opposed to teams that go 6-10 in conference play. Irvine, 31 wins. You lose to San Diego. I don't really hate the San Diego loss. I mean, they're a pretty decent squad there. They almost took out Michigan. I like the Anteaters. They're a dog to North Texas in their own right, 27-8. Talk about a defensive team. Look at some of these North Texas numbers. I was like, man, I'm taking Irvine in the over here. And I start digging and scraping the surface on this team. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy this game between mid-majors, especially a low-level mid-major North Texas. That Mean Green team is tough, which is why I think they're a favorite here. Because to me, Irvine, for me at least, as a mid-major kind of guy, and you guys probably the same way, it's kind of like the more known commodity out of the 2 squads. I know North Texas a couple of years ago had a nice little run. They had a good player on their team. I remember having him a few times. But, boy, I want to take the Big West here, but this number tells me, and the defense, and that's what kind of separates teams here. Mean Green for me, Matt Fargo. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get eyes on this North Texas team too much this year, but I watched the entire game against Oklahoma State last week, and this defense is relentless. They just swarm to the ball, and they're athletic, they're long, and they held Oklahoma State to, I think it was 59 points. Pretty good offensive team towards the end of the season. Yeah. So, yeah, their defense is tough. They won the NIT in 23, so they know this program knows how to win, and they're coming in. And the one thing about UC Irvine, I also watched that game. I don't know if they have the athletes to match up. And the one other thing is the travel spot. They haven't left California, with the exception of a trip to Hawaii, since December. So whether that makes a big deal or not, I don't really know. They have ample time, obviously, to adjust to the time zone difference. But, not leaving the state of California for, 3 months, that could have some effect on them. I don't know.
I'll go to Bry. You go in, and I wanted to say something about the defense.
Yeah, for me, this game, I think it's like a coin flip game. I couldn't get there either way as far as a premium pick goes, but I leaned in North Texas. I did see him play a lot of games this year in the AAC against my hometown Temple Owls. They looked good against some of the other teams in the AAC like FAU. I just think athlete for athlete, I think North Texas is just the better team. So, and this is a reasonable line, so I'm going to lay that 1.5 here in North Texas. But it's just the way.
The more I look at it, it's like I kind of want to take Irvine, like Irvine, but the North Texas defense is a separator for me. And I'm like, who has the Irvine team played, a comparable defense going to come at them. And it's San Diego by far, right? And they didn't score much versus San Diego, 55 in a game. I'm inclined here. I think I'm going to come in with a little North Texas, probably money line it, like a later 120 or whatever. And I'm going to go under 1.7.5. I think this is going to be an easy under. It's going to be like, 63-55. It's going to be like a 118er, but I don't think that Irvine gets to 60 here. So if they don't get 60, I think I'll be safe with an under. But I'm with you, North Texas for me here. I think might be an official play. I might, if I pull the trigger myself, I'll probably add it to the site here as well. But I think I've just with you guys here made my mind up on a little mean green here in NIT game 2. Make it I'm writing it down. It's an official show pick at least here. North Texas. I'm going. What's the money line here? Hold on, I gotta go. I'm going to
minus 130, I believe.
Minus 130. I got one of my crazy offshores up to build ridiculous ribby and run props that I like to do. Yes, we have a minus 130 North Texas.
And I think a lot of it could come down to the offense too. I'm looking at their the schedule right now, and of their 8 losses, 6 of those, they failed to score more than 61 points. So if they can get the offense going a little bit, and 8 losses is pretty darn good when 7 of them were about 5 points or less. Their only big loss was to UAB in the conference tournament. They lost that game by 10 points. So even their losses, that they're always there, and I think the matchup is good, like you said, with that defense. I just don't see Irvine matching up with athlete lives in this game.
I just grabbed them for myself. Let's put 300 on them. Let's go, Mean Green. Let's get it done.
Sure, parlay with the Braves.
No, my parlay. What are we doing? Parlays. Oh my goodness.
Trust me.
Let's get into the old trust me. That's like the old thank me later play. We get
thank me later on that one.
Yep. Oh my. 3 o'clock action. The Crown. Now we saw some of these games not get paid. It's based on these. It's not regulated. It's the players getting paid. It's not an amateur competition. A couple states had some issues with this kind of stuff. You get into your governmental red tape and all this kind of nonsense. It is what it is. They'll iron it out. But we got a 3 o'clock game here out in Vegas. DePaul and Cincinnati. Talk about an uninteresting game. I mean, how? I get they want to have Power 5 schools. I mean, you had Arizona State last night totally falling apart down the stretch, right? With their sub-500 record. Here comes DePaul, 2-10 on the road, 14 wins on the season. I want to lay with Cincy. I think Cincy's by far a better team, but it's the points. I look at the points. Part of me wants to take it. That's a nice chunk for a team, for both teams that are like basically 500 ATS on the year. Is Cincy really 10 points better than a team? It's one thing when you win a game by 10 or 11, teams win. It's a whole nother thing when you open up as a double-digit favorite in the spot, right? I mean, a team wins by 10. You see that often, right? You're taking a favorite. They're laying 5. They end up winning by 13. No biggie. That's a nice win. To open up as a 10-point favorite, I know it's 9, but let's be honest. You got to win by double digits here to cover this number. To open up this big a number, I think it'd be a decent team. I do not think there's that much separating these two teams. Am I wrong here on this 9 points, Brian?
This is one of those games I'm really not going to bet, but if I had to, I think I'd take Cincinnati only because DePaul's covered 5 in a row, and this number seems very tempting to take the 9.5 with the Blue Demons here. But Cincinnati has the better roster. Everybody knows that, but I think this line's high for a reason. I think Cincinnati takes this by 10. So I'm going to take the Bearcats.
Okie doke. Brian likes Cincy here. Matt, you're the tiebreaker. What are you leaning on this one?
Yeah, I would lean Cincinnati also. They were very, very underachieving team this year, and they're favorites for a reason, like Brian just said. You saw it yesterday with Boise State. Boise State was I believe it was 8.5. I don't know if it closed at 8.5. I might have gone off. I'm not sure because I had no interest in that game. But it's kind of the same situation. They're laying the big number for a reason. It's funny, like DePaul coming in a postseason tournament. Should they be here? No. Because Fox is paying for all this and their affiliation with the Big 12 and the Big East. How the automatic bids went. They got the top 2 teams remaining that didn't go in the NCAA or the NIT tournament. So by default, DePaul is in, which is kind of ridiculous to me. But yeah, I would not play this game. It's funny. Like yesterday, I was looking at the attendance numbers for this tournament, and the first 2 games. I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but there were 2,100 fans for the first 2 games. Like,
really?
Yeah,
I thought Boise would get some people in there. It's a Mountain West team. I like Boise like this. I was doing a show with the guys yesterday. I said, I think Boise in a rout. I said, I think if any team's motivated to win this thing, it's going to be Boise because their coach was talking about losing guys and they need money and this and that. I thought this was the team. And it's not that – I mean, how far is Boise from Vegas? I mean, it's not like a team. It's not like Georgetown coming from to Vegas, I thought there'd be people there. And then you close out again. It was the second half of the late game with Washington State. Again, they're like a Pac-12 kind of team in there. You figure to get some fans. I'd say it. I thought Boise would definitely draw a crowd.
Yeah, but 3 o'clock on a Monday. Who's going to go to that really?
Yeah, I guess there's spring break's over. I guess it's hard to get off your job and telling them that you need off for the Boise State invitational tournament game. Yeah,
right.
I guess, yeah. I mean, 3 o'clock on a Monday, I guess, is a tough time in Vegas. It's Vegas, though. You figure you get some stragglers. Chip Trimble said he was going to go to the game.
Well, that's an evening game for Chip at 3 o'clock. So, the older guys, they like the early bird. Hopefully he's not watching because I'll get an email from him.
Excuse me. Is there any rice pudding here or do you just sell pretzels and hot dogs? Poor Chip. I'm thinking now I got to dumb.
He's not even here to defend himself. Come on.
I'll have to tease him on Thursday when I see him.
Oh.
Next game up. This is like bowl action movement here. Central Florida and Oregon State. It was a 1-point line. Hello, it's 5. It's 5. And it's not just one team having guys out. Here's the thing. Does it matter? Utah had 10. I always saw in like the comments. Utah had 10 guys out. What are you doing? Thinking this game is going to, Butler's going to win. I'm like, that's all baked into the line. The line moves based on that kind of influence. They didn't make a difference. 10 guys out. They went off as favorites and lost. I mean, you take this as it is, folks. Okay, you got guys out on both teams. Oregon State comes in limping. I mean, Central Florida again. Do you think the well, they're not even Big 12 teams. The Big 12 is good. Hello, Houston's up there, but these guys were towards the lower bottom of the Big 12 at UCF. Although I like how they're moving, I think in probably another 2 years, if they can get their money right, I think they'll probably be a K-State-esque kind of team for the Big 12. They're outside, the good home court. Everybody's got to travel to them. I think they'll be good down the road. Here, though, I mean, Oregon State, again, the motivational factor, right? I kind of look at that as these teams. I thought, you know what? Everybody's going to be motivated to play. Guys are going to get a little cash. Did not seem to move the needle because some guys play, some guys go. This one here, I want to say UCF even with the 5. Maybe I'd say under with the guys being out, but if you watch these other games, they've all gone over, I think. I think all these – did they all go over yesterday? I mean, you can't even say under because guys aren't playing. I mean, maybe the Boise game went under because one team scored 50, but I don't know. Brian, what do you think here? You being underplayed?
This might be the toughest one on the card, but I'm going to lean towards UCF laying the points. It's just Oregon State's 20-12, but who have they really played in that Western Conference there besides St. Mary's and Gonzaga, which they got blown out by. Central Florida has covered 4 in a row, which worries me a little bit, but I just think they're the better team. If I had to pick a side here, I'd take the UCF here.
UCF again. Real fast. All 4 games did go over yesterday. All 4 did go over in this match in this tournament. So, Matt Fargo, thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, UCF is missing 8 players total, including the leading scorer, Keyshawn Hall. But the other side, Oregon State's missing 3 other top 4 scorers. So the one thing I think we learned yesterday is, like you said, Utah was missing a ton of players, and they almost won that game. These teams have been off for 2 weeks, so the fact they've lost some of their star players, they've had time to adjust, time to practice with their reserves. So in this one, I think it's kind of a wash where with the transfer portal moving in, man, I'm not even. The line move scares me a little bit, as Brian said, UCF has been on a little bit of a roll. So, but in this case, I think with Oregon State losing as many players as they have, as I said, 3 of their top 4 guys, I would lean towards UCF, just based on the live movement, which really doesn't make much sense to me in a game like this.
Right? It's definitely in. Yeah, we just listen. We got 3 guys talk about it. We don't really know what to think about it. This is the age, and this again. We talk about the nonsense of the college football portal during bowl season, and they can't push it back because it goes into the combine and recruiting, all this crap, and kids have to be in school by a certain day in January or February, so they need to do these portal stuff. This is ridiculous that it's the second round of the NCAA tournament and it's portal time. They got to again. We can't switch things because kids had to start the spring semester by sometime, so they have to be in the school or out of the school by. What are we doing? This is terrible. Terrible for the sport. Again, terrible, terrible, terrible. Speaking of things that are not terrible, it's our free picks here. Hit the like button since you're watching. Head on over to gamblersworld.net. Again, we're covering all these little games here for the tournaments. But if you want our best bets for our Tuesday night selections, head to gamblersworld.net. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we greatly appreciate the like and subscribe and notification bells on. So get on it. You've been here already for a half hour, and we still got 2 games to go. We'll knock these guys out pretty fast here. Colorado and Villanova. Here comes one for me. I like the over. Now, you guys, Matt just mentioned, guys out. These teams know this already. Players kind of step up. Nova, new coach. Players on their way out the door. Last game kind of stuff. Why wouldn't we get an over here? I like an over in this one, even before all the overs yesterday that I saw here. I got guys who are looking to make an impression on a new coach. I got guys finishing out their careers. I got guys, wow, we might get paid if we win here. A lot of stuff working a lot of directions. Colorado tough in the tournament there. Like, who saw them winning a couple games? No one had that one coming in their scorecards in the Big 12. I'm going to go over for me here, Matt. What do you think?
I actually have a premium play on this game, so I won't go too far in depth with it. But looking at both sides, Colorado is another one of those teams, like I mentioned with DePaul, coming in with a horrible record, 14-20, I think overall. I think they only won 3 Big 12 games all year, and here they are in a postseason tournament. To their credit, they did play well down the stretch. They won two games in the Big 12 tournament, so they came out a little strong. They lost to Houston to get eliminated, which is no surprise, obviously. Covered 5 in a row, so they have that going for them. Villanova is in a situation where, they have an interim coach in this game after Kyle Neptune got let go. So you don't hear that very often where a college team is, using interim coach in basketball. You hear it in football bowl games all the time now, but basketball is different. So how the team reacts, is really not known right now. I think I've read enough to where I know how they're going to react, so that's why I do have a premium on this game either way. So I'll hand it over to Brian and see what his opinion is on this one.
There you go. Get Matt's top play at gamblersworld.net tonight in this matchup. Brian, thoughts?
And this one almost was a premium play. I had it written down. It's ready to do the write-up here for the Colorado Buffaloes. It's just it worries me that the Buffs have covered 5 straight, but they played better basketball to close out the season, beat a good West Virginia team. Villanova, I've seen them play tons of games this year. This is the classic game where the Wildcats just lose it. If you're going to give me more than a possession here with the Buffaloes, I think they keep it close. You should see a lot of action on Villanova today, in my opinion. but I like Colorado plus points.
There you go. Top play on the site, Gambler's World from Matt Fargo. Brian likes the Buffs. I like the over in this one here. So there you go. There's that game. Final game of the night. Tulane and USC. And out of all games, this is the one that interests me the least. I mean, I guess the dog in me says, Tulane, you're going to give me a bunch of points here against USC. It's a smaller conference versus a big school. Whether it's college football or college basketball, in a neutral site game, I'm always going to kind of lean towards the points here and that kind of we got something to prove kind of team. And that's where I am here with Tulane. I mean, better record, 8.5, 9 points. Matt, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, I would leave it to the points here as well. I think USC has a travel edge. Obviously, they might get some fans here. Tulane played well down the stretch. They lost to Memphis by only 1 point in the their conference tournament game. And the one thing is they have two key players out, which is a concern. Williams and Banks, who averaged around 24 points combined. So that could be an issue, but it goes back to what I said before about the last game. These teams have had a lot of time to adjust. So I think Tulane can adjust. And, it's kind of like little brother versus big brother, like you said, out to prove something. And it's a big number. Open at 6, it's up to 8.5 now. All the action's coming in on USC. It could even go up more. So if you want to bet Tulane, I would wait right up till game time almost, because I think you could get close to double digits in this one.
There you go for Matt Fargo. Matt brings up a good point, folks. A lot of these teams have not played in over 2 weeks, right? These crown teams. They get knocked out in the first round of their tournament on March 12th or 13th, whenever, maybe the 10th. So they've been sitting around practicing. Guys know they're leaving. Next guy up kind of stuff. Brian Bitler, Tulane, Trojans, what do you got?
I can't go into too much detail because I have my best bet of the day in college basketball on the side. But as far as totals go, I would lean towards the over here. You've seen USC go 7-3 last 10 to the over, 8-2 to the over for Tulane. I just think it'll be like a track meet, a lot of scoring back and forth. I'm not worried about this 156.5 high total. I think it goes over.
All right. We've covered the NIT. We've covered the Crown. You're going to get one play from me. It's going to be North Texas minus 130. We're kind of all over with our picks here, but an official show pick, I'm going to give you North Texas today. Matt's got a top play going in the Villanova Colorado game. Brian has a top game in the USC Tulane game. Go get those at gamblersworld.net. You can get my appreciation by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. So, every day we come at you, like on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with these two fine gentlemen with me. Monday and Thursdays, Chip Trimmis and Doug Upstone join me. And I do a live on Friday. Matt shows up. Mark Lawrence comes up, shows up. Brian's too cool for me. That's all right. I'll throw him under the bus. He's too cool to show up. It's a Friday live.
I complain on Fridays.
Again, I'll throw Matt. Matt's been there 3 times, I think. So it's not like Matt, he's some regular. It's me.
Right. I'm not there every day.
If people are always welcome to come in. We got comments on the Friday Live. Again, put the notification bell on for the free picks here, the live show. Again, gamblersworld.net for our premium action. And that's a wrap. We got you covered here. Have a good day, everybody. Go ahead, Matty.
Thank you very much. One more thing. Check out Gamblers World for my golf article, which should be out later this afternoon or tonight for the Valero Texas Open. If you're into golf, I post an article every week. Came through the winner last week with Min Woo Lee, 35-1, and I'll have my preview and best bets for the Valero sometime later this afternoon. Should be posted by tonight, so check that out.
35-1 winner, which means he can go 0-30 down the stretch. He could go 1-28, and you know what? He's still up money. That's a good return.
Yep.
Gotta love the big dogs, man. Excellent work on the links. And that's a wrap for a Tuesday, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.